Esther has been having a really interesting experience with this hotel because as soon as they got here, she likes this little back route. She moves through the back of the hotel and usually goes up a service elevator, and then she can get to her suite so that she can get back and forth to the bathroom and so forth comfortably without running into you and having to explain to you why she doesn't have time to take a picture with you or so forth. And most hotels have been very accommodating, but this hotel, when they arrived last evening, let them know that Esther could not walk around in the back of the hotel at all. And Esther tried to explain that she always walks around in the back of hotels, and even this same brand of hotel, but they weren't having any of it. And so they managed to attract to them a very officious, very efficient, very nice, very well-meaning, but very I'm never going to break a rule woman who explained to Esther that she could not use the bathroom that's just right around the corner. The elevators, when you push the button, the elevators, only one of them opens back here. The other elevator opens only out into the front, and so it doesn't work. And so Esther and Sandy and Barbara, and they did a fair amount of explaining all of this. And what Esther is realizing in all of that is she cannot explain enough to get what she wants. It's just not a possible thing to explain enough to get what she wants. Even though her logic tells her there is no reason for them to be depriving her of this path of least resistance. There's no reason in the world to deprive her of a path of least resistance. And what we want Esther to understand is that no one in the world is depriving Esther of her path of least resistance. Only Esther can deprive herself of her path of least resistance. And if you can walk away from any situation understanding that you are the only one who opens the path or closes it, and that the others are just players in whatever you've chosen, just players in whatever you've chosen, then you can allow the world to be what it is without having to garner all of that principle that holds you in a place that you really don't want to be.
I think that I need to learn a little bit more how to embrace or learn from the contrast that I experience. And I'm on that journey.
Well, when you're faced with contrast, the best thing that you can do is step back from the contrast as much as you can. Because right in the middle of the contrast, you've fallen from an airplane and the momentum is just going to carry you. So it's sort of an after-the-fact thing. So now we've chewed all around this, and the audience has a good sense of who you are and what you're doing and what you want. So can you make a clear statement of what we can feel that we're not trying to talk you into another profession at all?
I'm almost done, so that's good news.
But being done with it in action will not mean that you're done with it vibrationally.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
people will say, I'm leaving this relationship, and then we say, well, then you better get out of town too. And you better get off this planet too.
I can't leave
because
myself.
You take yourself with you wherever you go.
Right.
And so given who you are, and in essence a little bit what you have wanted and where you now stand, what is it that you hope to receive? What is it that you want as a result of these years and this focus and these desires that you've given birth to? What is it that you desire? We know it isn't that you want the planet to change or the world to change, because that's asking for a conditional love. So apart from asking the world to change and people to all of a sudden to become submissive to the rules,
I think I'm asking for learning acceptance.
So in acceptance, is there a releasing of resistance? An acceptance of what?
Acceptance of...
Acceptance of the diversity in the planet, and
Correct.
acceptance of people getting to
Yes.
choose whatever they want,
Yes.
and acceptance of law of attraction, sorting it out.
Yes.
When we put it in those terms, it's pretty easy, isn't it? So an acceptance of the laws of the universe and people responding.
Yes.
And what else? Because we think you're already there. What else?
I don't know. Acceptance of...
We're talking to all of you because
is?
you're all moving
Just-
around in a world where there are things around you, up close to you and around, that you're not wanting to experience. A new person with a new gun shooting new people in a new place almost every time you turn around. There's all kinds of things going on like that. So acceptance of their right to live as they want to live. But what's the next piece of it that you have to find? In other words, what is it that makes you unwilling to be acceptant of the freedom that other people have to live as they choose? What prevents you from being willing to be acceptant of that?
Fear.
fear of them imposing what they're doing in your experience. So it's acceptance of the law of attraction, and acceptance of the diversity, and acceptance of people being free to do as they want to do. But what's another component that you have to add to that? Another desire that you hold? Control of your own experience. Control of your own experience. Control of your rendezvousing with that. So isn't that what we're talking about? We're talking about your control to rendezvous with what you want. Not just yours, but you want to teach it to your kids and other people that you care about. So it's acceptance that there are lots of different discs, and acceptance that there are lots of different life experiences that are being lived collectively and cooperatively by the people who are spending their time on those different discs. Are you with us? So then, what is it that we're talking about in these hours that we've been together? Because you can't not accept that it's around. You can't not accept it. In other words, you see the evidence of it. That's what our friends have been saying to us. There's evidence of this stuff, and we can't put our head in the sand. So what do? We accept it, but then what? Accept it, and then what? Accept it and choose. Accept it and choose where we want to be. You don't have to choose what you've accepted. You don't have to watch the news and accept it, and in watching it, accept it, and in watching it, practice it until you've accepted it not only as a lifestyle of someone else, but a lifestyle of yourself. You can accept diversity, and you can accept freedom of others, and you can accept that people might choose to live differently than you do. But there's something else that you've got to add to that acceptance, and that is, I have, as do all of them, the right to choose. And we want to say to you, most of them are not choosing deliberately. They're choosing by default. They're choosing out of practice. They're choosing out of observation. So if you want to then take your desire a step further, which is why you entered into that occupation altogether, you want to uplift. And what is uplifting? What is uplifting really? Isn't uplifting helping people to choose higher discs? And since words don't teach, then what is the best opportunity or chance you have of helping others to find that higher disc?
To show them.
Choose it yourself.
Yeah.
Live it. Live by the clarity of your example. Be abundant. Be passionate. Be thrilled. Be successful. Be easy. Be aware of your vibration. Be a deliberate creator. Be one who speaks those words of opportunity, who speaks of well-being, who speaks of love. And practice yourself there until one day you'll be standing in your vibration of well-being, and you'll be witnessing someone who's on a whole other disc. And the inspired words that flow from you won't take you to their disc. They'll take them to your disc, you see.
I have done that on occasion in the past.
That's what true upliftment is.
At work.
That's who you are.
And it was a wonderful feeling.
You've come into this physical experience as deliberate creators, knowing that the diversity was there and embracing it completely, knowing that without the diversity that you could not choose, and knowing that your choices were going to be well received and tended to by that which you are wanting to call source. You knew that you were born with a guidance system that would help you to understand viscerally the resonance between you and your desire. You knew that you would be able to feel whether you were in vibrational alignment with all that you'd become or something less than that. But most of all, you knew that you were being born into an environment, a continuing environment, where you have the free will to choose. What this entire gathering has been about, and we know that most of you are taking this knowledge with you as you leave today, is that if you will make vibrational choices rather than those specific choices, the vibrational choices in their generality will be way easier for you to make. If you lay on your bed and you say, tomorrow I'm going to be happy, don't try to define it, because you might find yourself defending why you're not going to be happy tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to feel more ease than usual. Don't try to define it, because you might find yourself defending why it hasn't been so easy before. Tomorrow I'm going to find energy. Don't try to define it, because you might begin defending why you've had sort of low energy before. Tomorrow I'm going to find fun. Don't try to define it, because you might find yourself explaining that you haven't been having much fun lately. In other words, just be as general as you can be, as the night before you are anticipating that higher flying disc. Do it every morning for 30 days and then report back to us. It is our promise to you. that the results of this simple, law-based, certain effort at choosing the disc first and then watching what comes next will free you. It's the freedom that you've been looking for, you see.